Konnichiwa, everybody, and welcome here to Twin Ring Motegi in Japan as we're set for our 18th race of the season for the PCSRA Buffalo Wild Wings Series. Now, we were originally supposed to go to Road America, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, the track ended up crashing on me numerous times, and there was no way I could get it fixed. So instead, we have moved our race weekend to Japan. Of course, the AutoZone Amateur Series was supposed to be at Wisconsin, but that race was postponed. And they will reschedule their race when they are at, when Buffalo Wild Wings and Monster Energy Series are heading to Watkins Glen. That will be when their race will be rescheduled. So they are currently off as far as that is concerned. But we're getting ready for today's race here, 100 laps of racing. We've never raced here in the Buffalo Wild Wings Series before, even though we've raced here before in the Monster Energy Series. And it could be really a very interesting race, and fuel mileage could come into play here in 100 laps of racing. It is the Japan 150 for the Buffalo Wild Wings Series competitors. And on the pole position is Justin Hugo in car number 55. Justin Hugo came in this race 26th in the points. Here is the point standings, by the way. All the way down to Rookie of the Year. John Wesley Allen, 9th in point standings alongside of him. And then Carlos Knott in row number 2 and the 10 of Max Lipson so far. 44 was given a $25,000 fine for her actions after the Charlotte weekend. And let's give you the command, and I'll go over the point standings. Ari Springer is starting at the back of the field, as we'll get these cars rolling off behind the pace car. So the points coming into Japan. Ari Springer is the points leader by 57 points over Stephanie Driscoll. 157 points back is Greta Wagner. She's 3rd in the point standings. Paul Michaels 4th in points, 192 back. Then Max Lipson completes top 5 at 205 back. Then it's Xavier Alsop, Andy Winters, Wyatt Garcia, John Wesley Allen, and Darby King. That completes your top 10. This track is kind of identical to Darlington, as we are here in Japan, as I said before. And we're getting ready for what will be a very good race here today. Also, to note, Ari Springer carrying some new colors. She's got a white spoiler on the back of her Target Chevrolet. Or Target Dodge, I'm sorry. We'll also go over the playoff grid scenario to see where everything shapes up. It's time to get these cars ready to go racing. Pace car is off. It's time for the Japan 150 for the Buffalo Wild Wings Series. Who will say konnichiwa in going to victory lane? We're going to find out as the Buffalo Wild Wings first race to Japan is green. Let's go racing, drivers. The inside line is the place you want to be. Of course, it is very late back in the United States. It's about 1 a.m. as of this race taking part. It'll be also a late night for tomorrow's Monster Energy Series. Greta Wagner will lead the first lap of this race. Carla's not in second. Carla's had a frustrating season so far. Comes into this race in that critical 30th in the points. Pretty soon I'll be seeing my roommate Brian coming out of his room for lunch. Greta Wagner trying to go for her 3rd win of the season if she wins today. course, Greta Wagner's already locked herself a playoff spot because she's the only repeat winner this season. Excuse me. If I'm having lunch, I do apologize. This is race number 18. After this race, we only have 5 more trips. 5 more stops left to go in the Buffalo Wild Wings season. Of course, I'll change it up and have these drivers go to Mexico City, and then they'll go to Kentucky for next week. And the caution is out for the first time today here in Japan on lap number 3. See who it involves. Hattie Swartz got some damage to the left side of her Cayman Jack Honda Accord. I don't think I see any damage to Diane Lawson. That's another driver who really needs a good run. It's like Hattie Swartz would be the only reason for this yellow. So we had a spin on the front straightaway. So our first caution of the race is out. Oh, Lucky Prescott was in it. I didn't see her involved. That's a driver who's trying to get in the top 30 in the point standings. Looks like she got hooked by Sim Burton, and the black smoke erupts on the DLP Chevrolet. Oh boy. Looks like Lucky Prescott needed a good run to get herself in the top 30 in points. That might be her championship hopes officially done. As the 20 came to pit road. While we're under caution, I will be right back. I'm going to go use the little hedgehog's room here in Japan. All right, I am back. I don't know if we've taken the one to go yet. If we had, I'd made it back in time for the restart. Give me a second. All right. All right. Sorry about that. I made it back in time for the restart coming up. As we're going to go back to green flag racing here on lap number 8. Of 100, that would give us a total of 92 laps to go in today's race. Greta Wagner, Carlos Knott second, Justin Hugo third, April Winters fourth, Darby King fifth, sixth is Molly Thomas, seventh Max Lipson, eighth Emily Elizabeth, Ivory Walker ninth, John Wesley Allen in 10th. Carmichael, Tanaka, Champagne, Driscoll, and Bridget Thomas will complete the top 15. Green flag going to go back in the air. Drivers out after that incident, and it's Lucky Prescott. That might be all she wrote for Lucky Prescott to make the playoffs. And I don't think with 5 races left to go, I don't think Lucky Prescott will get herself in the top 30 in the point standings. Also, I see Diana Lawson 35th. She's a driver that comes into this race in a must-win situation. Sean Art restarted 23rd. Sean Art needs a good run to get himself into the top 30 in points. He is a total of 56 points back of 30th in the standings. That is occupied by Carla Sanat. So Sean needs a good run to get himself in the top 30 in points. Maria Nowicki and Scarlett Nelson are 24th and 27th in points. Those drivers need a good run today, or they could find themselves outside the top 30 in the point standings and their wins not counting towards a spot into the playoffs. April Winters in the 06. It's dead last in points of the drivers who have a charter this season. Of course, Lainey Fredrickson had a disappointing season, was released. So she needs a win to turn what has been a disappointing season around. Of course, she'll be back in the Buffalo Wild Wings series next season. We believe we'll be running the 06. We'll have to wait and see. There's Ivory Walker. Ivory came in this race 20th in the points. Needs a good run to stay away from 30th in the standings. Darby King came in this race 10th in the points. Let's see where our points leader's running. That'd be Ari Springer. She's 24th. The gal who's trying to run her down for the points lead, Stephanie Driscoll, is 17th. She came in this race 2nd in the points. So a couple of drivers, and of course, Greta Wagner, who has led some laps, came in this race 3rd in points. So let's go over the playoff grid now that we were talking about playoff scenarios. Of course, Lucky Prescott with her DNF, that will definitely take her out of the hunt for the championship. As it doesn't look like she's going to get herself in the top 30 in points. We talked about Diana Lawson, who's now a total of 108 points back of 30th in the standings. She also needs a good run. So the playoff grid would look like this. Greta Wagner with her 2 wins is the #1 seed. And then we have a tie. And then Ari Springer's second because she's the points leader. Third, Max Lipson. Fourth, Annie Winters. Wyatt Garcia 5th. John Wesley Allen 6th. Darby King 7th. 8th, JJ Park 9th. Monica Towns, or Belle San Diego, is 9th. Monica Towns, our winner last week at Charlotte, is 10th. Ivory Walker, Maria Nowicki, that would be your 12. Outside looking in are Scarlett Nelson, 27th in points. She's a former winner this season. The gap between her and Caution's out for the second time today. She is 12 points back of Maria Nowicki. As Yellow's out for the second time today, let's see who this involved this time. I'm not seeing anybody. Maybe the points leader, perhaps? I don't know. Let's see. We're going to double check. Second caution of the race. Let's go to the pace car. I don't know if we had a yeah, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, we had a wreck on the front straightaway, and it was the points leader, Ari Springer. So she got turned around. It's like a 3-wide situation. That's another driver I was just talking about, Maria Nowicki. So she was involved in whatever this incident was, 3 wide. And it looks like Maria Nowicki bouncing around like a ping pong ball. Spins the points leader, gets the 36 collected. So indeed it was the points leader involved, but Maria Nowicki was also involved. Oh, Kaylee Rankin gets a piece of the target dodge. There's last week's winner jumping on the brakes. Nice job for her to getting slowed down. So now the points leader has run into troubles. Let's see how far they can go on a fuel run. It's 100 laps, 64. So these drivers cannot make it 100 laps on 1 tank of fuel. They will have to make a pit stop some point in this race. All right. Lap number 20 on the board. Back to green. Nobody out of the race. Big opportunity here for Stephanie Driscoll to take the points lead. The problem for Driscoll is that the gal who is also trying to run her down for second in points led a lap. That's Greta Wagner. And because she already led a lap, that's not good news for Driscoll either. Can you imagine if Stephanie Driscoll takes the points lead and doesn't find victory lane, she would miss the playoffs? Hard to believe that, if you ask me. There's Sean Art. Excuse me. There's Sean Art. Running in 18th position. The Poppy Bank Toyota. It was announced today that Daniel Voiles Racing will be buying the 18, the 20, the 31, and the 89 for the Buffalo Wild Wings series, and they will be Chevrolets next season. It was announced today. Sean absolutely needs a good run today. Of course, the good news is there's the driver he's trying to run down for 30th in the standings, Carlos Sanat. So Sean really needs a good run. April Winters, 39th in the points. Even if April Winters goes to victory lane, it would not be enough for April Winters to get herself in the top 30 in the point standings. She is super far back of 30th in the standings. Let's see. I'm going to do the calculations in my head. 8, 5, 3. She's about 238 points back of 30th in the standings, if I did that in my head. I'll have to check. I'll have to confirm that. Need a calculator. Make sure I confirm that. Minus 1378. I want to double check. 234 points back. So that's over a full race. Of course, April Winters has had a struggling season. She will be back in the Buffalo Wild Wings series next season because she's in the playoffs for the Coca-Cola Truck Series. As we're checking through the field. Ari's already up to 32nd. It's like Hattie Swartz having a tough day. Hattie Swartz will be in the Monster Energy race tomorrow. Next week, these Buffalo Wild Wings Series cars will, instead of going to Kentucky, will head to Mexico City as they'll have their international flavor. So we're going to go from Japan to Mexico. Then we'll head to Kentucky, and then the following week we'll have Monster Energy only. They'll be at the short track of Castle Gorge, the same racetrack we had the AutoZone Amateur Series race earlier this year. And then they will go wine country racing from Sonoma. Monica Towns came as race 18th in the points. She's trying to work her way through the front. I think we can say Diana Lawson could be mathematically eliminated. There was contact between her and Monica Towns. All these drivers that do not have a win, like Driscoll and them, they are probably getting desperate. Paul Michaels, who's not been to victory lane this season. Whereas his teammate Belle San Diego has. Chloe Carmichael's not been to victory lane this season either. Scarlett Nelson is running 19th. The gal that she's trying to run down, rather, is running in 24th, which is a total of 5 spots ahead. So Scarlett Nelson, we'll see where this situates her, because the other thing is, if Sean Art has a good run today, Sean Art could get himself back in the top 30 in the point standings for his Bristol win to count towards a spot in the playoffs. But remember, the leaders did not pit under this yellow, or under the previous cautions we had here. So they are not good to go to the end. Neither are the drivers who came to pit road on the first yellow. They can't make it the rest of the way. So they're going to have to pit before this race is over. The other issue that Maria Nowicki needs to be concerned about is the 42, the 99, the 55. If they go to victory lane, they're in the playoffs unofficially, and Maria Nowicki would be out. Because they are far ahead of her in points. Driscoll's running 5th right now as things stand. Where is Ari Springer in? Springer is 29th. As things stand, Stephanie Driscoll would take the points lead heading into next week at Mexico City. Lulu Champagne's going to take the lead on the 06, but the 06 gets a good run off the high side, but has to but got a little tight. Jesse Art in the 19. I want to correct one thing I said earlier this year. I said that she was a senior. She's actually she's a junior about to go to her senior year in 2023. She, I believe, would be finishing her junior year up in high school as of this recording. So there you go. Of course, Jessie Art she's another one of those drivers. A win for her would get her into the playoffs. Same with Lulu Champagne. And that would be critical for Champagne because if she goes to victory lane, makes the playoffs, and makes it in the next round, she would be into the conversation of returning to the Monster Energy Series next season. I also should need to point out the drivers who come into this race in the danger zone of losing their spots for this series. Emily Elizabeth. Let's see. Emily Elizabeth. Bridget Thomas is 2. Bridget Thomas, by the way, will go into the Truck Series regular season finale in a must-win situation. Hattie Swore would not drop down unless she goes to victory. If she goes to victory lane here in this series, it throws everything for a loop because this could also save her in the Monster Energy Series. I saw a car on pit road. Caution's out. Samantha Greenville is 3. Luke Peters is 4. Lulu Champagne is 5. Oh, and somebody's smoking up ahead. Who is that? Oh, that's Diana Lawson. That will more than likely end her championship hopes right there. Who's that on pit road? Somebody's on pit road. That's the 84. That's one of the Red Bulls. That's Greenville. Another driver. Excuse me. That means Diana Lawson's day is done. That is her championship hopes done. Let's see what happened. Apologize for the sneeze. I couldn't hold it together. Damn it. Oh, we have more cars involved. Whoa, 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 whoa. Do we have a wreck? Okay, who brought out this yellow? That's what I can't figure out. Let's go to the pace car. Okay, there's the lights on. Oh, it's April Winters, who was our leader. And she got turned by Bridget Thomas. Hard in the inside wall went the Mobile One Dodge. April Winters just cannot seem to catch a break this season. Chloe Carmack. Oh, there's the shot. That was Diana Lawson. Or that was Samantha Greenville, I'm sorry. And then Diana Lawson hit the Mobile One Dodge. And I couldn't get the replay to stop for some reason. Wow, Monica Towns did not get involved, but the 58 did. Jeez. Did we have pit stops? Looks like that was the case. Yeah, because everybody came to pit road, but that is not their last stop of the race. I don't think they can make it the rest of the way. They're going to have to pit again. Lulu Champagne, Jesse Art, they didn't come to pit road. So they're thinking if this thing does not go into a long green flag run, if they pit, they're sitting in the catbird seat because now they're in their window to make it the rest of the way. The problem is they could be lapped. Boy, fuel mileage could come into play as the pace car is going to pull off. Out of the race after that one is Samantha Greenville, April Winters, and Diane Lawson. They joined Lucky Prescott behind the wall. That will definitely end Diana Lawson's chances of getting in the top 30 in the points, and that would also be her playoff hopes done. So despite winning a race this season, Diana Lawson's playoff hopes are done. It's been a struggling season for that 58 team. And she'll absolutely take a hit in the points. Justin Hugo regains the lead. 86 has got more problems. Probably when 86 hit the wall on that first caution, it might have bent the upper control arm on the car. Oh, it's going to be one of those horrible days for her. A lot of our wrecks have happened coming off turn number 4. Yeah, I think something's wrong with that 86 because that upper control arm is looking like it's bent. And they could probably have to take it to the garage. If I'm Sean Art, I wouldn't be feeling too good about possibly getting collected in a wreck. Now, '17th for the 9 team, that would be Maria Nowicki. 19th for the 24. They are not so we have none of the championship contenders involved. And the 55's leading. Of course, the bad thing is, this is not good for the 9 team because if the 55 goes to victory lane, the 55, who is ahead of, who's actually ahead of, Maria Nowicki in points, or no, he's behind Maria Nowicki. If the 55 wins, he's in the playoffs, and the 9 would be on the outside looking in. But keep in mind, a second win for any of these drivers, they would join Maria Nowicki as a 2-time winner and tie with her for the number 1 seed going into the reformatted playoff points. Sean Art has cracked the top 10. Here's the other thing. Sean Art gets a second win, and he would solidify himself a spot possibly into the playoffs, which would still bump Maria Nowicki out. all Maria the Wiki is a hope for is that a former winner this season goes to victory lane. That's not behind her in points. Because remember, 12 drivers will make the playoffs for the Buffalo Wild Wings series. Everyone else would be eliminated. As we're coming to the midway point of today's race, and the Wings go for a bathroom break again. All right, I am back. Sorry about that. Just past the halfway point in today's Japan race. Seeing some drivers back here running well in points going to take a hit. Ari Springer's up to 20th. Of course, came in this race as our points leader. Stephanie Driscoll, who's in second place, running in second. She came in race second in the points. Stephanie Driscoll's been super consistent, but that's not what she needs. She needs a win. Because now, as we get closer and closer to the end of the regular season, she's going to find herself more than likely in a must-win situation. And of course, the AutoZone Amateur Series race at Milwaukee, by the way, was need to be corrected, was actually canceled due to severe weather and would not be made up. So we won't see the AutoZone Amateur Series drivers until the till Knoxville. 55 got tight there. But now here comes the question. Do these drivers have enough fuel, those that pitted, to make it to the end? I'm not feeling confident about Jesse Art and whoever stayed out under, oh yeah, Lulu Champagne. Because they have not been to pit road this race. They're going to need a yellow to get back in the pit sequence. Sean Hart running in the top 10. The bad news is he's not ahead of Carlos Anat. He is ahead of other drivers like, where is Tanaka? Of course, I forgot to mention Makoto Tanaka is racing in front of her home crowd, 25th. So Sean is ahead of Tanaka. He is not he is somewhat ahead of Emily Elizabeth. He was 27 points behind. He was actually 1 point behind Emily Elizabeth. Coming into this race, Ari Springer's somewhat moving up through the top 10, trying to limit damage, get damage limitation. Because Ari Springer's actually been consistent after getting a win this season. There's Carlos Anat trying to get in the playoffs. Comes in this race in that critical 30th in the points. And she has led a lap, which doesn't sit well with Sean. But these drivers might have to pit. Looks like the pack got broken up. Oh, we got contact. Oh, the 70's blown up. The 70 has blown up. That's Ivory Walker. Oh, she can't get the pit road. She's going to get the pit road. Oh, we got a wreck up there. The red flag is out. Big crash. Who's that? That's Max Lipson. He was in the top 10. Who else is smoking? It's Garcia. So we had an accident come into the caution. Caution's out again. This is helping Hattie Swore stay on the lead lap. But that was not what Carlos Anat wanted to see. Of course, they took the caution. Ivory Walker came in this race 20th in the points. This is good news for Scarlett Nelson. Garcia is out of this race. Let's take a look at the replay. And looks like he and Max Lipson got together. Lipson got loose, came down in front of the Texaco Haviland Ford and hard in the inside wall. Oh, second in points was in it. I didn't see her involved. Stephanie Driscoll, second in points, who's trying to run down Ari Springer for the points lead, was involved, and she's got a lot of damage to the right side of her machine. The Racing Gods, for whatever reason, is helping. And that's also a big break for Jessie Art because she didn't come to pit road This could put her in the catbird seat along with Lulu Champagne. Because they've been on those tires since the start of the race. Boy, they might have just played their pitch strategy beautifully. That's good news for the 2014 because out of the race after that, the 70 blew a gearbox, the 10 to 28 out of the race due to the incident. And the one car has a lot of damage as we're back to green. But that is really good news for the 24. And Ivory Walker came this race 20th in points. This could be bad news. The gap between 38, 48, 68. 68 points is Maria Nowicki. Looks like she's going to bypass Ivory. 69, 71. 80 points, she was ahead of Scarlett Nelson. So Scarlett Nelson might bypass her. And that could put Ivory Walker out of the playoffs. What they better not hope for is Sean Art getting a second win. Or Jesse Art getting a win. Because Jesse Art is 22nd in points. There she is in the 19. Win for her would put her more than likely into the playoffs. Bridget Thomas is leading this race. Bridget Thomas wins today. She could lock herself a spot into the playoffs and push not just Ivory Walker out, but also Bridget Thomas and Scarlett Nelson out of the playoff hunt. We have 30 laps of racing to go. And the one car has not made up any ground. What is it with Ari Springer getting super lucky for some reason? Someone explain that to me. How is the 41 super damn lucky? Even though she's dropping back. Ari Springer has got to be one of the luckiest girls I've seen in this series. See where third in points is. Currently in fourth. I believe Ari Springer will more than likely going to keep the points lead heading into next week at Mexico. But the points are absolutely going to get shaken up. Max Lipson came in this race 5th in the points. Paul Michaels, who's not had a good day so far. Where is Paul Michaels? Michaels is 9th. Came in this race 4th in the points, so Stephanie Driscoll's definitely gonna definitely take a hit in the points. And Stephanie Driscoll, who is already in a must-win situation, and she's a driver who's running well in points, that will definitely might miss the playoffs. And we talked about this in real life as of this recording, you know, with two drivers running well in points in Cup that could possibly miss the playoffs. That could be problems. There's Ari Springer ahead of Darby King, who's 10th in points. Of course, these two ladies will race tomorrow. Chloe Carmichael, who will also race tomorrow. course, Makoto Tanaka is back from her one-race suspension for what happened in this series last week. Of course, she was parked in the Monster Energy Series race for her actions last week at Charlotte in this series. This is a good run for Sean Hart in the 18. Like I said, needs a good run to stay in the top, to get him in the top 30 in the point standings. He is barely ahead of Emily Elizabeth. He is actually, interestingly enough, he is ahead of drivers like Victor Gonzalez and Chloe Carmichael, believe it or not. And none of them are inside the top 10. Carmichael's 15th, Victor Gonzalez all the way back in 30th. So Sean Hart could possibly be in the top 30 in points if he's got no issues. Keep that in mind. He's about to pass third in points Greta Wagner. Of course, I will not reveal the playoff scenarios. Carla Sinat leads. Bridget Thomas second. Of course, Carla Sinat came in this race in that critical 30th in the points. Sean Hart's in the 5th position. And also, Sean Hart is ahead of drivers like the 24, who's 25th. This could also knock Scarlett Nelson out of the top 30 in the point standings. And he's also ahead of Maria Nowicki. So Sean Hart might have just bumped both of them out of the playoffs. So Scarlett Nelson's going to fall outside the top 30 in points, the way it's looking. Because we got 20 to go. The one problem for Sean is Bridget Thomas is leading, and Bridget's ahead of Sean in the points. If Bridget goes to victory lane, she's in the playoffs. Sean Hart would still be out and needs a second win. It's like Ari Springer has somewhat recovered to 20th. Boy, this is going to shake the points up. Sean Hart still in 8th. Monica Towns back, going to look like she's going to back up her win and get away from that battle for... She'll probably end up staying inside the playoff grid, leaving today. Sean Hart needs a good run today. He is not ahead of the... Yeah, Victor Gonzalez is more than likely going to take a hit in the points. Of course, Sean was tied with Makoto Tanaka. He is so far ahead of Tanaka. He's passed Tanaka in points. He's not ahead of Emily Elizabeth. Sean's more than likely going to have to go in these last 4 races, try to get a second win to get in the playoffs. This is not what Maria Nowicki wanted to see, this right here. You also think, remember, we talked about Sean Hart, who's been to victory lane this season. These two have problems. Jesse Hart could sneak away with a victory. And remember, Jesse Art, one of the drivers who's trying to make the playoffs in not just this series, but also in the truck series. Jesse's not doing too good in trucks, however. Of course, Jesse is an archery student from Texas. I wonder if she's done some archery here in Japan, which I wouldn't be surprised if that was true. Because to be fair, she does great. And one day she's going to be dressing up like Robin Hood. But it'll be like the female version of Robin Hood, if you know what I mean. So, how would it be for Jesse Art to possibly put herself into the playoffs? She's got a good chance now. Sean is barely ahead of Maria Nowicki. Which means Maria Nowicki right now, as things stand, would be out. If Bridget Thomas goes to victory lane, she'll be the second Chip Ganassi racing car to go to victory lane this season. Of course, Ari Springer was the first. Of course, the other thing is Ari Springer went to victory lane when she came in that race as the points leader. And here's the thing, Ari Springer already has 2 wins in Monster, so she's already going to be in the Monster Energy next season. All of those drivers out of the race have been released from the care center. Oh, look at that. Lucky Prescott, who's already she's actually going to our motor coach. She's not going to the dressing room yet. That's heartbreaking seeing her championship hopes are done. They are, however, currently in the owners' playoffs. Keep that in mind. Stephanie Driscoll's absolutely going to take a hit in the points. This is, by the way, for Carla Sinat, this is the closest that she can get to a home race. Looky there, Emily Elizabeth's up here in this conversation. So is Xavier Alsop. Keep in mind, Xavier Alsop already has a win in his career, and that was in the Monster Energy Series at Michigan, believe it or not. That was when he won on fuel mileage. Which he pitted a lot earlier. And when everybody came to pit road, he stayed out and won the race. And that's his only PCSRA win to date. This would also be the second win for Dodge to go to victory lane. Of course, like I said, Ari Springer went to victory lane. Ari Springer is back to 21st, so she's trying to make the best of a difficult situation. But the good news is for her is that she was ahead of the driver that was trying to run her down for the points lead. She is going to lose points, however, to Greta Wagner. But I know Ari Springer will still keep the points lead. But now, Maria Nowicki, as things stand, according to my live points, would be in the danger zone of missing the playoffs. Oh boy. Jessie Hart, by the way, has come close so many times to go to victory lane this season. Of course, she helped her brother Sean win Martinsville. I also realized there was two Menards cars, the black cars. I just realized. I didn't realize that till just now, but you can pick apart the sponsorship on the hood. One driver in the Monster Energy Garage who's loving this is, interestingly enough, Bridget Thomas' older sister, Annie Thomas. Because Annie Thomas locked herself a spot into the playoffs, and you will see Annie Thomas and the other Monster Energy drivers tomorrow. But this would be huge if Annie Thomas's little sister goes to victory lane. And think about this for the Monster Energy Series tomorrow. Out of the playoff grid, Annie Thomas is the only former champion in Monster who has been to victory lane twice. How would it be for her little sister to go to victory lane? Which means if Bridget Thomas goes to victory lane, the only driver from CGR that has not been to victory lane is that Texaco Dodge of Lulu Champagne. And she's hoping to go to victory lane to make sure all three of the CGR cars go to victory lane, as we have 2 laps to go. Sean Hart back to 12th, but a nice run nevertheless. This could definitely put him in the top 30 in the points. This will mean Scarlett Nelson, who's 29, she will fall outside the top 30 in the points, and now her win would not count towards a spot into the playoffs. Here we come, white flag, one more time around, Japan. I also failed to mention, it's an Australia 1-2. Bridget Thomas, Carla Sinat. Carla Sinat's from Queensland. Bridget Thomas is from Sydney, where her family is from. Bridget Thomas, the younger sister to Annie Thomas, Jill Thomas, and Molly. Off turn 4. CJR is going to victory lane for the second time this season, and it's Bridget Thomas who's going to victory lane in Japan. It's her first win of the season. And now, did Bridget Thomas lock herself a spot into this season's chase for the championship? I believe this would also be Bridget Thomas's first career win. She did not go to victory lane in 2016, the last time she was in this series. And that was not what Maria Nowicki wanted to see. Because now Maria Nowicki, who came in this race into the playoffs, is out. Oh boy. The playoff grid got shaken up again. Bridget Thomas, the winner. Congratulations to her. Carla Sinat, so close, but another good result from Carla. Came in this race in that critical 30th in the point standing, second Emily Elizabeth came on third. She was 31st in the points, so she'll move her way up through the points table. Monica Towns, great way to back up her Charlotte win last week. Came as race 18th in the points. She will move herself inside the top 15 in points leaving today. Jessie Art, 5th, still looking for her first win of her career and of the season. Xavier Allsop in 6th. He'll stay in the top 10 in the points leaving today with a solid run. Lulu Champagne made 2 CGR cars inside the top 10 with 7th. Greta Wagner, 8th, will gain a lot of points on Ari Springer, who ended up 23rd. Good job there in 8th. Miranda Nowicki came home 9th. Oh, Miranda Nowicki could be out because Bridget Thomas came this race 1 point behind her. She led a lap. Bridget Thomas won the race. That means the 9 card could be on the outside looking in. That's a shocker. And Justin Hugo, our pole sitter, came home in the 10th position. Came as race 26th in the point standings. A struggling season, so he will fall out. Sean Art came home in 12th. He was the only driver that was outside the top 30 in points. He did not beat the 66 or the 32. He did beat, however, Tanaka and Gonzalez. He did not, however, beat Chloe Carmichael. But he was ahead of drivers like Scarlett Nelson, who came home 29th, as we'll look on down through the remainder of finishing results. Yep, 29th. So that would mean Scarlett Nelson's going to fall outside the top 30 in points. And he was also ahead of Victor Gonzalez, who came home 30th. Looks like Victor Gonzalez had a difficult day. And looks like Sean Art, according to my live points, I believe Sean Art is in the top 30 in points. The only problem is he is currently on the outside looking in as far as the playouts, but he is back in the top 30 in points, the way it's looking. So, yeah, as you saw the remainder of the results, Stephanie Driscoll, 2nd in points, 32nd. She is going to take a hit in the points. Nobody finished the lap down, and only 7 drivers finished out of the race. White Garcia, Max Lipson, Ivory Walker, Samantha Greenville, April Winters, Diana Lawson, and Lucky Prescott. Diana Lawson, Lucky Prescott, I can safely say for those 2 ladies, it's the end of the line for you 2, and they are officially eliminated from. I bet that's probably a disappointment. For Diana Lawson, that's kind of expected because that 58 team has been not doing good this season. Lucky Prescott, well, I bet she's probably going to be disappointed with herself, but boy. Twin Ring Motegi played a huge part in the points, but I can safely say, despite her 23rd place finish and on the lead lap, Ari Springer will still keep the points lead heading into next week at Mexico City. And guess what? This series is racing next week at Mexico because Monster is off next week. So is Trucks and AutoZone Amateur Series now that the Milwaukee race was canceled and it would not be made up. So we won't see AutoZone Amateur Series drivers for quite a while, so sucks to be them in that regard. So, well, Bridget Thomas will go to victory lane here today. Want to make sure I save the export. We're actually going to go ahead and show you your points right now. Again, here's the results from 28, top 28, and all the way down to the final 39 to 39. So let's go ahead and show you your points and see how big of a shakeup it just caused in this championship. Oh boy, I can't wait to figure this one out. Do I not have Twin Ring Motegi on the track? Let me see. No, I do not. But I will make it look, it is like Darlington. Okay. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and process. That was an interesting race. Japan 150, I'll just call it. 4 cautions, not too bad. All right, let's see. Who led the most laps? 24 laps for April Winters. And looks like Bridget Thomas led the most laps, and that will not be a you blew it. So there you go. Oh boy, I don't want to be in that. I bet you that's going to be a sucky way to have your championship hopes come to an end. And I was correct. Ari Springer, despite a disappointing result and losing the points to Greta Wagner, she still keeps the points lead. As you look at the point standings, leaving Japan and heading into Mexico City. Yep. Let's see. Sean Art has not made it in the top 30 in points. I thought he did. Now he's only 44 back. Scarlett Nelson is going to need a good run next week. Ivory Walker and Scarlett Nelson, sorry, as well as are out of the playoff picture. Let's see. The 9 team is moved up to 21st, so the playoff grid looks like this: Greta Wagner, Ari Springer, Darby King, John Wesley Allen, Annie Winters, Max Lipson, Monica Towns, Wyatt Garcia, Belle San Diego, Bridget Thomas, Maria Nowicki. That is, let me see. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Monica Towns is 7. Garcia 8. Park 9, 10. Belle San Diego, 11th Bridget Thomas. Maria Nowicki is now on the bubble. Because Ivory Walker is out of the playoff hunt, so is Scarlett Nelson. And, of course, Sean Art's trying to get in the top 30 in the points. So, that's going to do it from us here in Japan. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCSRA crew today. We've shown your full finish results. You are now looking at your rookie points and your overall points heading into next week's race at Mexico City. Tomorrow, we cap off our Japan weekend with the Monster Energy Series. Then next week, it's just Buffalo Wild Wings Series for the next 2 races. They will go road racing from the Mexico City track, as well as the Bluegrass State of Kentucky, before the Monster Energy Series has a West Coast tour, which will be very nice. So, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll look forward to all the racing coming up. And until then, I've been DDVille signing off. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's race. You've been watching another broadcast of the PCSRA, the best in a racing since 2017. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Monster Energy Series race. Goodbye from Twin Ring Motegi.